Hey, it's Alan Tudyk. I just wanted to reach out and welcome you along with the Duke of Wesselton. I would like to say, welcome to Magic Our Way, I suppose, with Kevin and Danny, Eli, and now with Rachel. Not a big welcomer, but okay, welcome. And then also K2SO. And there's a fresh one if you mouth off again.
Jumbo, everyone.
Harambe.
And welcome to another edition of
The Magic Our Way. Magic Our Way. Magic Our Way. Magic Our Way.
The Magic Our Way podcast.
They are truly magical and whatnot.
Asante Sana, everyone. You're listening to the Magic Our Way podcast from New Orleans, Louisiana. And on this show, we invite you to feel the libations.
Feel it, feel it.
We are artistic busts and not artistic cream puffs. This is the show where every opinion is welcome. MagicOurWay.com is where you can find us. For this show, we discuss our least favorite Disney e-ticket attractions. And look, this isn't your typical polished, practice, pixie dust, and Disney podcast. No way. We are not in the parks every day at the moment simply because carnival season is in full swing as we lead up to Mardi Gras. So we're about to laissez le bon temps rouler.
That's right, Kev. So until we get to doing that, we're going to talk some Disney, drink some libations, and tell you which e-ticket attractions we could pass on.
And you guys have the easy part. All you have to do is listen up to what we think up while we drink up.
My name is Kevin.
And I'm Danny.
I'm Eli.
And Rachel will join us in just a little bit. She just couldn't do the intro at the moment. Hey, so you know what? I just want to just throw this out there. I don't know if anybody else feels this, but I had a cheeseburger the other day.
Oh.
And every time I have a cheeseburger or any kind of burger in general, for some reason I think about Tony Stark. I don't know.
You can have all the cheeseburgers you want.
I can have all the cheeseburgers I want. I know. I just always think about it. He liked cheeseburgers. You know, in the Iron Man 1, when he was unveiled, he had a bag of cheeseburgers before he unveiled I'm Iron Man.
I thought he liked shawarma.
I like shawarma too.
Yeah, eats that with
I like shawarma too. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But like his main thing is like cheeseburgers. I know they made it a point to make that, because his daughter's like, Happy's like to his daughter when after he dies, like, I'll get you all the cheeseburgers you want.
Oh, yeah, you're right. They did do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Every time I have cheeseburger, I was like, oh, Tony.
Oh, so you think of Tony Stark dying.
Yeah, I do.
And taking the Marvel franchise with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's that.
They tried to give it, I watched Spider-Man, No Way Home on cable. So that was always fun to revisit.
Mm-hmm. I get those Way Homes confused.
It's Far From Home, which is the weird one.
Homecoming.
Oh yeah,
which one's Homecoming?
That's the first.
That's the first
one. Okay. No Way Home's the one with the multi Spider-Man.
Yeah, multi Spider-Man.
Yeah, okay.
And Far From Home is the one where he's in Europe.
Oh, God
with Mysterio.
Spider-Man's European Vacation.
My daughter's always getting on to me because I can't remember those damn names. But man, there's so many homes.
That's not fair to you, Kevin, because they've had so many Spider-Man movies and reiterations. And to your point about Tony Stark, they have not done a reiteration of Iron Man.
Yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there. I don't know if anybody else thinks that, but I have a cheeseburger. I think about Tony Stark.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Yeah. I'll start doing that now.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you're welcome.
Okay.
When I'm making love to my wife, I think about Tony Stark.
When I'm cooking a bit, I also think about Tony Stark.
When I'm alone in the bathtub.
That's true.
Think about Tony Stark. I don't know if any of that's naked.
I don't know. Anyways, look, enough of my jibber jabber, but thank you for indulging me on the cheeseburger business. And look, the easiest way to support us is to leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts and or wherever you access our show. Also, be sure to like and subscribe as well as turn on those notifications so you never miss an episode of the Magic Our Way podcast. All right, so let's go see which ones are our least favorite e-ticket Disney attractions. Here we are on the Hub, our main topic segment of the show. And for this Hub, as I mentioned in the very beginning, we are talking about our least favorite e-ticket attraction. In Disney, of course.
Yes.
So, we just have a discussion. There's so many e-tickets that we all love. So we figured it'd just be easier to talk about the ones that we don't like.
Right.
Because there's probably not as many as the ones we do love.
Exactly. And then, by the way, if you're getting antsy right now just hearing this, thinking to yourself, oh, there they go bashing Disney. It doesn't mean we hate these attractions. It just means they're not among our favorites. There's so many great ones. These are the ones that are like, not as important to us as the other one.
Hence the wording of least favorite.
Least favorite.
Least favorite.
Yes.
So, I came up with like 4 things. I don't know if y'all came up with a little list of sorts or whatever, or just things.
Yeah, really just 4. Yeah. That's all I could really come up with was 4.
Yeah, I had 2 at Walt Disney World and I did 1 at Disneyland.
I did 1 at Disneyland too. Yeah. Can we lead off with the Disneyland one just to knock it out? This is like my number 1.
Sure, go for it.
And so I haven't ridden this, but I never will. So it's definitely not my favorite at all.
Okay.
Because I have no desire to do anything with this particular e-trick. Now, I don't know if it's considered an e-ticket. But according to Disney's website, they categorize this as a thrill ride.
Okay.
And I am talking about Pixar Pal Around Swinging.
Yeah.
Formerly the Sun Wheel or Mickey's Fun Wheel.
Wait, the huge Ferris wheel?
Yeah, which used to be called Mickey's Fun Wheel. It used to be before that the Sun Wheel.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that it got rebranded that.
Yeah, it got rebranded when it became Pixar Pier, whatever thing in Calgary.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh. But that has it has some stationary cars and it has those cars that roll around on little tracks and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And that's like my number 1. Yes, the ones that roll. And just no.
Just no.
Just no.
No on that as well.
Yeah, I did it one time when Lily was a baby and she was asleep and we sat there and after the second rotation, we were realizing this was a bad idea. And then all of a sudden Lily started to wake up and she started to get fussy and shake. And then she's shaking, the car was shaking and we waved down the guy to stop the ride so we could get off the ride.
Yeah, see, I remember that story and absolutely not. I will not. It's a big thing. It's tall.
Oh, yeah.
It's tall.
Yeah, I would have put it on my list except for the fact that there's no surprise to it. You're either cool with that kind of level of height or you're not. And that's it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's not like I got on there and like, this is going to be awesome. I knew exactly what I was in for. And I was pretty sure I wasn't going to like it in advance.
Yeah, I remember first seeing that sucker, and I'm just like, I am not writing you.
Yes, I like how you listen to your inner voice.
Yes,
it always guides you.
I have yet to write it to this day. I don't know if I ever will, but I have no desire. Henceforth, it is my least favorite.
All right,
it is my least favorite.
Yes. I have no least favorite rides in Disneyland. They're all good, and if they're not, I'll figure out why.
I love them all.
Even that one.
I mean, like I said, it is what it is. It doesn't claim to be anything other than that. If you're not comfortable with height, it's like saying, I don't like, rock and roller coaster because I don't like roller coasters. Well, it's a roller coaster. So yeah, it is what it is.
But at the same time, it's like, to me, it's a big old Ferris wheel. The London Eye doesn't have cars that move side to side.
Yeah, but you get a choice.
Yeah, you do get a choice.
You don't have to get
at the same time. It's like, no. I don't know if I
don't blame you. I'm a no on that one as well. But it's definitely not false advertising.
This is true. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So who else has got one they want to bring to the table as far as their least favorite?
I can stick in Disneyland with you. And, yeah, but my main criteria for this particular one is more about my age. Than the ride. It's just how my body reacts to the ride.
I know where he's going with this.
So that's of course the Incredicoaster, which I'm sure people.
That's not where I thought you were going.
I thought he was going at all either.
I thought you were going to say the Matterhorn.
Yeah, Matterhorn, that's what I thought.
Yeah, the same here.
Oh no! Well, I remember we went and I took that Incredicoaster one good time, and I like never went.
Oh, you went with us?
Yeah. I went. I know. That's the first time I went on it.
Went with JP and all them.
Oh, it's true.
Yeah,
because the second time you bailed out to go get a corn dog. We rode it again, I think.
Oh, yes. Okay,
I do remember that now. Yeah,
because hey, y'all want that? Like, nah, I'm gonna eat the corn dog over here. Turkey leg.
Okay.
Watch. Yeah.
I remember you had a look of pain on your face when the picture came back, but you always have that look on your face.
Yeah, life is painful for me sometimes, but no, I remember because I went on it and it's a fun ride. It's fast and it goes and everything, but it was like, part of me didn't feel correct. Like when I got off it, like, I don't know if
it were changed.
Part of my lung was, in my throat or
your innards.
Yeah, something wasn't right after that. Yeah. So
that's what I feel like when I have motion sickness. Yeah.
But I create, and me, I'm not afraid to go on most stuff. Like I won't have a hesitation to get dropped in water or whatever. But yeah, that's been thrown at me a couple times. You want to go on this? Like, nah.
That's interesting.
I'm good. My innards just came down thanks to gravity.
Something about that coaster just didn't agree with you.
Yeah.
I love that coaster.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that coaster at all, actually.
I think probably maybe one of the longest coasters that Disney has in their arsenal of coasters.
Yeah, it is an arsenal. That thing's a weapon.
Once again, I mean, you see what it is. It's not like it's false advertising. What you see is what you get.
Yeah, what you see is what it is, but what you feel is something different.
I felt fine.
I did not. That's all I'm saying
He
about
felt
that.
something only a corn dog could fix.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, generally when you feel a little bit rumbly and you tumbly from riding a roller coaster, you don't go grab a corn dog.
Or a pot of honey.
I needed something to settle my nerves.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
Drinks help.
Yeah.
Doctor said 2 corn dogs and call me in the morning.
Call me in the morning. Yes.
All right, let's go to Rachel.
All right.
Yeah, I feel like I'm not going to have a lot of friends after this. My overrated e-ticket in Disneyland is Indiana Jones.
I'd be curious. Okay, for reasons. I'm curious.
Yeah, those aren't fighting words to me, but I am curious as to your reasons.
Well, so the wait is always really long, even if you have a lightning lane, because you merge like pretty early in the queue. So you're standing there for a while, no matter what.
Mhm.
And you end up in that room where you watch that black and white video with the guy for a really long
Over and
time.
over again.
Greetings, my
Yeah.
friends.
Yes, greetings, my friends. Exactly that one. And then I don't know. I'm not ever like blown away by it. And every time I get off, I'm always like, why did I wait that long?
You know, I can see that to an extent because it is more based upon Indiana Jones and a Temple of Doom. This whole idea of this mystic caverns and stuff that he's in, and that was my least favorite Indiana Jones movie.
Ouch.
Yeah, no, I did not care for Indiana Jones and Temple of Doom at all.
That's one of my favorites.
I do like the part where the fire goes because you get that like flash of warmth. That's always like a nice moment. But the rest of it doesn't feel very action packed. And I don't know if that's kind of what you meant by it being focused on Temple of Doom. There's just not a lot of action.
It doesn't feel very Indiana Jones-ish to me.
Yeah, right. There's actually not a ton of Indy himself in the ride.
And it's not,
Just one, huh?
and it's not even Harrison Ford Indy.
No, fake Indy.
That's true. That's fake.
Faux Indy.
I can see that.
Disco
anyway.
indie.
Yeah, no, I like the ride, but now that you say that, I can see it.
Yeah, no, I can totally understand it too. I mean, it's not one of my least favorite, but yeah, I can see your reasoning. I mean, I remember that queue is a very long queue.
Yes.
Yes.
You know, very
Even
very
with the lightning lane, there's no way around it.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
it's
cool, though.
stale.
Okay.
It's stale going into it, but I didn't mind getting ridden around it a little bit, but I hate
Right
it.
vehicle.
But Tipperdoe's my favorite, so I'm biased on that.
Do you like Dinosaur better than that one, or would you say that's a more action packed, or it's equally just as? Or is it on your list?
I can take or leave that one too.
Okay.
Well, for sure, that one's on the list right now because I just don't feel like they're keeping it up very well. But
That is absolutely
that's
true.
a damn shame too.
It is.
Yeah.
It's really a damn shame. But anyway,
There are a few like that.
All right.
cool.
Well,
that was a good one.
Yeah.
I never saw that coming.
I know we got to keep it moving here. So I'll go with Disney World Space Mountain.
Okay.
Wait's too damn long. The ride is rough and rickety, and it's really not much at all to look at. I mean, the launch is fine, but after that, it's just visually boring. There are no eye-popping effects. I mean, you really have to look around just to find to look at. And
Yeah, no more cookies. You can't
Yeah.
cookie meteors.
shouldn't there be like more stars in space? I don't know. I mean, why are we building telescopes to see into space if it's just dark? That's basically all it is. And then really, since there's not much to look at, all I can think about is how uncomfortable I am in this tiny little car where I have to contort myself just to fit in there. I'm always scared I'm going to get a Charlie horse, jolt upwards, and get my head taken off by a passing girder or something. You can't even see the next turn coming just so you can prepare yourself for the coming jerks back and forth that you get. So
Surprises in space.
yeah, I mean, I know they say it's a classic, but they must mean classic in the way that silent movies are classics and record players are classics and Ataris are. I mean, great things that have served their time and are no longer as good as what has come after them.
Well, sure. Yeah. Classic. If that was the first one. Yeah.
I mean,
since then they've made it totally different.
Disneyland Space Mountain, Paris' Space Mountain, great rides. This one,
And it's the OG. So it's like, there's some things that they had to improve on when they built it in other parks for sure.
No, but to your point,
I can see
Danny,
that.
the only stars I ever see it is when my knee is hitting up against the back part of that seat too.
yeah, that's it.
one side that I think is like noticeably better than the other side, and I forget which is which.
The longer side?
Yeah, I can't remember which one is better, but every time I ride it, I'm like, oh yeah, I got the good side this time. And when I don't get it, I'm like, okay, that was the bad. I remember now. Yeah. So there is one, and then that's not great, right? Because you have no control over what side you get. So
Right.
True.
There shouldn't be that kind of difference. I guess that maybe takes me into one of mine.
Sure.
One of mine for Walt Disney World is Soarin', and specifically Soarin' Around the World, because I don't think it's cool that if you get in the A section or the C section, you have a like much worse experience. The video is completely warped.
Yeah.
It just doesn't look real, and it's really only a great attraction if you're in the B section, and then like 1/3 of people get a good view, and that's it. Like, I don't know. I don't like that. So
it's really not even all that noticeable until you get to the Eiffel Tower, is it?
Right. Yeah. And that's the worst, but there are other parts of it too.
Yes. Like you look at it, like, is that quite not, when the Eiffel Tower comes up, it's like, oh, that's obvious. That's obvious. What it is. But you never had that problem with the original Soarin' that I could remember.
Right. No,
I think there's more care for filming that versus this one seemed to be pretty quick.
Yeah, I can see why that would be an issue. I mean, I still enjoy the experience, but I can see why that would be an issue.
Yeah, yeah. I'll go with one. So if we're in Walt Disney World, where regardless of the experience, I don't like it. It's my least favorite. I have experienced this one as opposed to the Ferris wheel thing, but that is Mission Space. I'm just and either or. It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
If I had to pick one, I'm going to do the one that doesn't spin. But yeah, there's just nothing motivating me to get back on that thing at all.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
And just the fact that I actually would pick this, if I had to pick two, between Ferris wheel and Mission Space, I would to ride. If somebody said, "Hey, you got to ride this," I would pick Mission Space. You know, just only because I know I'm already close to the ground.
Right.
Whereas the Ferris wheel, I'm close to the ground every once a rotation. You know? So if something happens, gravity will either take me pushed up against a wall and close to the ground, which is okay, or plummeting how many ever feet in the air. Ouch. Terrible.
Yeah, look, the reason I don't ride, I've ridden the tame version. What is it? The green version, which to me, that makes no sense because you're green if you're sick after riding the thing. So they should reverse that because that's trickery. But the reason I don't put it on this list is because I wouldn't ride it because of the motion sickness experience. It's kind of like Star Tours. That could easily make this list for me because every single time I ride, I get sick. But everything about the ride is perfect except for the motion sickness. And I'm just so happen to be one of those people who's susceptible to motion sickness. So I don't ding it for that. I mean, I love C-3PO being there, the different adventures you go on and whatnot. So similar with Mission Space, it's like, it's just the motion sickness. That's just, I don't want to be sick walking out of there. So it's hard for me to ding it on that basis.
Oh, yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
Eli, do you want to go next?
Oh, sure. I would have to say Navi River Journey up there for me. Now, it's not something that I hate or dislike. I went on it once and I was like, that's it. Okay.
It is short. Yeah.
That's what Emmy said at the end.
That's it. Yeah. But if you remember when they were building Pandora, and this was the big, one of the big was like, hey, you wait for this to come. You're going to see something you've never seen. So I guess part of it is there was a lot of hype that was built on it. We were looking for a new added part to be put in the park. This comes out. I remember we stood in line for this for we watched some people like cheat the EV system. All that stuff. Yeah. That was actually more entertaining than
the EV family.
Yes. It probably lasted longer too.
But, I don't remember anything that really sticks out. And I think one of the reasons why I also put this on the list is I thought it was going to be like a really cool dark ride like Pirates, whereas you look around, different things are happening. There's different narratives, different stories that can be told. Here it's just like, try something mind altering and then you might enjoy it. And that's really all. And then the robot, he comes out, he's like, he's got all the hands, the shaman.
The animatronic at the end. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, it looks cool and lifelike, but it's
that's
like
a she. That's not a he.
I apologize. I'm still working on my progressiveness. I'm working on that. My bad. I apologize.
Oh, you apologize.
My
dad really thought that she was a human.
Really?
Yeah, until we
phenomenal.
got closer, and he was like, "No, that's way too big to be a human."
Oh,
no. Yeah.
That's a phenomenal animatronic.
yeah.
Yes.
On a side note, I remember when like that Wicked Witch of the West from
Oh yeah,
the
great movie ride.
Great movie ride. Thank you. I remember when I first saw that, I was like, "Is that an
Yeah,
actor or is that an animatronic?"
her moves are so sudden. It's
Yeah.
just like the witch.
And that was a generation of animatronics before the
Yeah.
shaman. Yeah, which
Yeah.
is just
Yeah.
But I see your point, Eli. I mean, it's there's not much story going on. It's just more of an experience going through a forest at night in Pandora.
I loved it, except for the fact that it's too short. It
It's
doesn't
short.
go anywhere.
I mean, it's beautiful. There's a lot of things
Yeah.
happening, but there's
They
not much
blend
story.
in the practical with the
visual.
Yeah,
Really, really cool, but
Yes.
not really much of a story overall, other than walking through the woods at night.
Yeah, not enough to make you double back. And that was part of the criteria I used for this one.
Okay.
You know.
I'll stay in Pandora then. Avatar: Flights of Wonder. I just
Passage.
Flight of Passage, whatever. I don't know.
They still steal your money either way.
Exactly. There you go. I just don't get the appeal of this ride, which is probably why I can't get the name right because I've barely ever ride it. It's not like I hate it, but I do Soarin' 20 times in a row before I did this just once.
What?
Yeah. I mean, like, for starters, all right, so the movie wasn't anything special.
Word.
I did not care for Avatar at all. I could barely get through it without falling asleep. The world didn't captivate me, so there's really nothing appealing about it that I'm like, oh, I can't wait to explore it. The wait is generally about 2 to 3 hours. And then if you want to go ahead and get Lightning Lane, that'll be an extra $15 a person. They load you on these bikes, and then you have to sit around for 10 minutes feeling like a dork while they go around making sure everyone's properly loaded. You're just sitting around looking at each other like, hi. Hi.
I would feel very cool on those bikes. I'm just going to say.
And then the movie starts, and there's just never a point where I'm not fully aware. I'm just sitting on a plastic bike watching a big ass movie screen. At no point am I sucked into what's going on. I just feel like I'm in the middle of the big CGI fight in every superhero movie. Nothing feels real. And then that's when the motion sickness starts kicking in. So it's all those factors combined that I just don't understand why people find this ride so alluring. But yeah, it's not one of my, it's something I do if the group wants to do it, but so I don't avoid it like the plague, but it's just not something I'm keen on doing because it's a hassle to do it for one. And then you feel it when you walk off.
Yeah, I was going to say that was what I was teetering on. But the only thing was I remember that there was a point where you go all the way down and then like the bird like swoop up. And I was like, oh, that was cool. But other than that, it wasn't too much. But I remember when we took Lily somewhere. It was like some video game thing down here.
Yes.
Was he took me to? I can't remember. I did a Batman arcade game. That kind of felt just as involving without all of the props like this would have. So.
What props? It's just a screen.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, the breathing between your legs?
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah,
Dude, I am very acutely aware I'm not riding a freaking bitch.
I do like something green. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, of course I know I'm not riding a Banshee. I don't know. It really feels like flying to me, I think.
Really?
The effects are I think they did the effects really well. Josh went skydiving once, like in real life. He said that when we got off of that ride for the first time, he was like, that was the closest I've ever felt to skydiving, other than like actually skydiving.
Oh, yeah. When it falls down. Yeah, that's got to be it.
Interesting.
Nice.
Yeah.
I don't, it makes me feel like I'm flying, which I think is really cool and thrilling and exhilarating. I also love the music. Like the soundtrack to it is great.
Oh.
I did once have the water feature set. I might have told this story already, but I did once go on it when the water feature was turned up way high, and it was like a Nerf squirt gun in my face. And, yeah, exactly, Kevin. I was like, spraying like a direct stream of water.
It's so beautiful. Oh, no.
And my glasses were so like. Just water droplets all over them. And I turned and looked at the person next to me and they were like, whoa.
You got the bonus.
I started laughing in the middle of it because it was just like high-powered, like super soaker in my face.
Wow.
Why can I be so lucky?
It was a lot. Anyway, so that one time I didn't enjoy it as much, but I really, really love it.
Don't really care for sinus rinses while I'm riding in the track.
Yes, it was a sinus rinse.
Is it water smell all over your face?
No, I think Animal Kingdom is perfect. And I would no notes. No notes.
Yes. Flight of car
Kirk
wash.
is somewhere taking notes.
No notes. Yeah.
You got another one, Rachel?
Yeah, I do. The next one that I think is super overrated is Test Track. And it's hard for me to not feel that way because I've ridden Lightning McQueen racers out in Disneyland. And once you see what that ride could be, then you go back to Test Track, you're like, this is stupid.
Yes. Oh, that's a great
No. That totally made my list.
That's very immersive.
Especially this version 2.0.
I've not. This is the only version I've ever been on. Actually, that's not fair. I probably did go on whatever was there in 1998, but I don't remember it. We started like really going to Disney in 2015, and it was this version. So, I don't love it. I think they announced they're going to be making some changes. Actually, I know they announced that the last D23 or the one before that, and I'm very happy. It needs to go.
Sorely needed.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I totally had that on my list. It's especially this version 2.0. I like the original version better. And yeah, you're right. Radiator Springs Racers is so much better than what they have.
Totally.
I don't like the digital concept. The story is just weak, as far as the thing. And it's, I'm not a fan. It's like my number 3.
I look at it like at the end of the day, it's just, you go fast at the outside at the end. That's it. That's all it really. For most people, they could care less about what they're seeing on the inside. But yes, the experience in the older one was better. The experience in Radiator Springs Racers would be top 3, I would say, of my favorite e-ticket attractions.
Yeah.
This one is obviously lower, but I think for a lot of people, it's like, yeah, I just like that part where I go fast. Much like Splash Mountain, I just like dropping and getting a picture,
getting the fresh air. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, folks. Well, I have to split because I have kids off to the next sports commitment, but it's great to chat with you all for a quick minute. And thanks for having me.
Always great to talk to you.
Yeah, we'll talk to you next time.
Bye, guys.
All right,
bye. Well, fortunately, she's gone now because now I'm going to talk about Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. And I know she likes that one too. So she's going to be mad when she hears this. But look, it's not like this ride is bad or anything. It's just a really disappointing use of the Guardians of the Galaxy, in my opinion. Let's start with the story. I have literally no idea what's going on in that story. I don't know what we're doing on this journey, how we got there, what our objective is, how we beat the Celestial along the way. No clue what's happening there. Unlike Space Mountain, the visual effects definitely make you feel like you're in space, but trying to keep track of what's happening between the Guardians and the Celestial being, it's just impossible. Half the time you lose what's going on, and that's pretty tough when you're talking about a being that's 2,000 feet tall. That's a tall order. Not be able to keep track of the action that's going on the screens all around you. And that's all there is screens all around you. There's one practical effect. It's a moon. There you go.
And who doesn't love a good moon?
It was effective.
No animatronic figures whatsoever. Really? I mean, that's an automatic deduction of points, in my opinion, for an e-ticket attraction right there. There's got to be something like that. To me, the part in the queue when you're teleporting into space, that was the best part of the ride. The queue was the best part.
Oh, it's interesting. I'm in agreement with you there, but it didn't make my list at this point. But it definitely isn't one of my favorite attractions. But my favorite part is just a part where, the explosions happen and the coaster backs out. That seems like the most practical use of that effect, I guess, physically, out of the entire attraction.
Except for the fact that Gringotts did it first and did it better.
This is true.
Gringotts is 100% better than Cosmic Rewind. It's not even close. And I think maybe the part of it that I like the most about it is that in Gringotts, they stop to tell you a story along the way. Whereas in Guardians, you're going, so you don't have no idea what's going on. You can't keep track of anything. In Gringotts, they stop. And you do go backwards at that one part. And it's so much fun. So for very similar ride systems, it's no doubt that Gringotts is better. And so when I rode Cosmic Rewind, I'm like, that is just not a good use of this technology. They could have told a really great story on screen. They didn't do it. They just went all in on, you're going fast.
Well, they went for the thrill. Yeah,
exactly.
Those that love the thrill, and that's what makes it an awesome attraction. I mean, that's what they're going for.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, so you got that, you got the motion sickness, and also Bradley Cooper. Why couldn't they get him to do Rocket's voice? I mean, he did it for Mission Breakout. Kind of takes me out of the ride a bit when I'm hearing Rocket talk so much, and all I can think about is that sounds not like Rocket.
This is not my Rocket.
It's wrong sense. I'm not even listening to what he's saying. I'm like thinking, like, why does he sound so wrong? And you look it up. Yeah, it's because Bradley Cooper didn't do the voice. And apparently Vin Diesel didn't do Groot either, which is like, how is it so like they could have phoned it in at any point in time and just changed
the word.
Yeah. Like, okay, let's put Bradley Cooper was busy that week. Cool. Upload it whenever he gets a chance.
Right.
I mean,
AI, man.
Not worth the money. Let's get the sound alike.
yeah, it sucked. So anyway, all I'll just say is it's not like I hate that attraction. It's not like it's bad. I just walked off of it disappointed, a little queasy, and wondering why we couldn't have done a little bit more with this. I mean, this is such a great universe to pull from, and we're just fighting in space. We didn't go to nowhere. We didn't go to Ego. We didn't go anywhere that is familiar that we really could enjoy. So that's my biggest problem with it. It's just, it just doesn't seem like much.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I enjoy the music part, but I haven't been on it enough to be like, oh yeah, this, that, the other. Because when we went the one time, I was just like, whoa. That's fun. But yeah, all I remember is they had the Celestial tied up with some change or something like that, which I thought was kind of kinky. But I had no clue of what was going on around me, to your point. Because one, it's dark as well.
Yeah.
So you're just spitting and making sure, no one pukes on you.
Yep.
And then like you look
Make
up
sure I don't puke.
Yeah. Like you say, you look up, you see the moon, and next thing you know, you spun around again. But the music and everything is just, it hits all your senses at once. And I think once you kind of get adjusted, or you say, I'm only focusing on this thing as best I can, which you shouldn't really have to do. Right. Maybe it's easier to pull the different elements, but I can see your point. I only remember the beginning and then tying the thing up. I don't remember much else after that.
Rock and Roller Coaster blares the music into your head the entire way you're going. You go fast, you do loops. All that, to me, that works better. And I have a better sense of what's going on. We're driving that makes sense to me.
Well, there's practical scenes.
Exactly.
I mean, scenes, it's street sign, but still they're actual signs.
It's more linear.
That's also part of what Gringotts just does better is that, when you can't keep track of what's real and the fake. Like if you really are discerning, yes, of course you can, but it confuses the senses when you're riding it the very first time. Everything just blends in and it looks natural, whereas there is nothing practical except for a moon to look at on that ride that I can think of.
Moon.
Moon.
Okay, well that's fair, and so I'll tag on that.
All right.
Or did I say anything?
You tag that ass, Kevin.
Tag Moon. I'll tag it. All right, I'm going to tag that moon, and I'm going to bring in Frozen Ever After. It's one of my least favorite.
Now, is that e-ticket or is that a dark ride, though?
It's hard to say because I put in like the filter thrill rides on the website, and that was one of the ones that was listed. And I'm like, but would it be considered e-ticket? I could find I actually did some research to try to find like several definitions of what an e-ticket would be considered nowadays.
That's a good point because by that definition, Pirates is an e-ticket.
You know what? It used to be. Apparently, it was listed as an e-ticket on the ticket books.
Yeah,
I was like, and Haunted Mansion. I was like, well, okay, well,
that was back when dark rides were that was back before there was any roller coasters in Disney, though, right?
Yeah. But anyway, regardless, it's still one of my
Matterhorn. What am I thinking?
Yeah, Matterhorn. But either way, the Frozen After is probably one of my least favorite e-tickets, if it's still considered an e-ticket by whatever standards. Maybe one day we'll have to figure out. Maybe we can come up with our own ticketing system on the show idea, figure out some criteria, and actually categorize these things because it's not standardized. But anyway, the waiting in line for it, it does what it leads up to. There's obviously parts and stuff that could have been fleshed out better, especially the parts where you're going backwards, which doesn't really lend much to the story. It also throws you back with their magic. But then out of that, you're just going down a dark chasm of sorts. And then that's it.
Know the story, Kevin. It's Happy Summer Snow Day. You're going to Happy Summer Snow Day.
Summer Snow Day.
Yay!
Oh, yeah. That's me in the winter.
Yeah. I guess they got tired of the feedback in every single Disney ride. Something goes wrong. Okay, we'll give you nothing happens.
How about that?
You're going to a festival. Love it.
Yeah. I told you know it's funny when I put this list. I totally forgot about Happy Summer Snow Day.
That's exactly all it is. It's like, hey, it's Happy Summer Snow Day. You're going to the castle. You're going to go see Elsa. Happy Summer Snow Day.
That's my point. The story sucks.
The story does. I think we acknowledged that when we did a comparison between Maelstrom and Frozen Ever After that one time.
Yes.
So,
stand by it for sure.
I would say this. To me, Frozen Ever After was like sushi. It took me like 3 times before I'm like, oh, okay, you know what? I think I can get into this now. But a third time, it wasn't as bad as I thought. I thought it was terrible the first 2 times I wrote it. But by the third time, I started to appreciate it a little bit more.
Yeah, but it can't be like sushi where you eat it like almost incessantly.
No, I don't love it. Like
that much love. Yeah.
I'm in love now. No, it's like, okay, I can tolerate you.
Okay. That's fair. Just wanted because I know you love sushi.
Oh, yeah. I love sushi.
All day.
But anyway, yeah. So yeah, Frozen Ever After, that rounds out my list.
Okay.
Get that.
E?
Okay. So this one, actually, that's why I kind of saved it for last because it was actually the one that struck me first. And that was Web Slingers.
Oh, yeah. Okay, you're right.
I was wondering if that was going to make y'all's list.
That is a Disneyland ride that probably should be on here. Yeah.
Well, that was my responsibility to call that one.
It was. Yeah, it was.
And for anybody who was just like, well, I want to hear this, that's totally fine. Look, it at least you get some Tom Holland in your life.
Yeah.
That's always cool. Mm-hmm. There's some nice little what do you call it, hidden gems in there. Like, if you look at the locker rooms, you can see things being signed by various Marvel characters, like, stickies on the lockers. And that's so the queue is fun.
A lot of Easter eggs.
Yeah, a lot of Easter eggs. Thank you. That's what I wanted to say. Easter eggs. But if you want to get on there and you just want to get some action going, this is a really bad money grab. That's the first thing. Yeah. It's not fair if you're going to start an item and that's what you're going to use as your default weapon of choice. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, they're like, look, that thing sucks. You need to go over here and pay $100 and you get the Iron Man one, or you get this one. It's like, come on now. I already paid to come to this. Don't do me like that. Give me an option. Give me an option. Maybe I want to use the Iron Man gauntlet, but can I please not have to buy that? That part in itself, rough. But I'm cheap, so maybe people can let that slide. Also,
I wouldn't.
Me neither. You also have if you've read the Spider-Man ride at Universal, which includes Spider-Man villains and characters, you don't get that.
Nope.
But then, let's say you're still doing all the shooting and everything like that. I wouldn't have minded if it would have been a combination of Universal Spider-Man with the Buzz Lightyear. Is that the one you go out, you're shooting at aliens and stuff, and you tally up your points. I mean, that part can still stay when you have your competition with the person sitting next to you. But I think that would have made it a little more fun, immersive. You get to talk some trash in there. But yeah, the only real part you get of the Spider-Man universe is the queue, which is a total jip to a Spider-Man fan.
That's racist.
Is it?
Yeah, that's what I hear nowadays. It's derogatory towards gypsies, which I don't know.
Yeah. Come on, it ain't even spelled the same.
I don't know how to spell it. You know how to spell it? You really are familiar with this word?
JIP. Ain't that how to spell?
JIP.
JIP.
Yeah, I'm not trying to offend anyone, but first of all, I'm an old guy. That word was used when I was a kid. I didn't realize that was the world moved too fast.
There were a lot of words used when we were kids that you can't say anymore.
There's words that they say now that makes no sense. I won't get into that, but I apologize
to any gypsies listening.
I did not know
Eli, our gypsy Mohicans.
Yeah, right. It was ripoff. Does that offend anybody that tears paper? I hope not.
That offends everybody that bets paper on rock, paper, scissors.
Dang! I can't win.
That offends losers.
Oh man! Now left out the women by saying, "Oh man, I'm sorry." All genders.
Look, I'll say this. That changes my opinion on the idea that there's nothing at Disneyland. I'll just say when I say Disneyland, I just mean the Disneyland park in and of itself and not California Adventure, because that definitely deserves to be on the list. That is not a very good use of the Spider-Man property.
Yes.
It really isn't. And the fact that then they try to sell you upcharges on a crappy ride just so you could do better and obliterate your friends on the score. Abby summed it up best when we wrote it. I mean, a little 8-year-old kid that just should have been made for her walked off of that ride like that was not worth it. That was
I remember her telling us this better be worth it.
Yep.
I was like, oh my god,
because we were waiting in that long ass line.
Yeah, but that was the thing. It was as a Marvel guy, a comic guy. It's like, oh man, like this is your mecca, right? These are the things that you attach yourself on. I mean, I got a ton of Spider-Man shirts and everything like that. So yeah,
you were hardwired. You were like 90% in. So for them to push you all the way out, I mean, all they had to do was make a ride that was at least worthy of the Spider-Man name because you were 90% ready to love it, and they just poof.
Because I do. I mean, I don't like getting in. I don't like getting into really super long lines. And if we're going to a part of the park, like Danny will tell you, like, hey, maybe we could double back and do this attraction or get something to eat and come back. But I was like, no, we are here. I won't miss nothing. And I missed a lot. I should have got the Pim juice. I really should have.
The Pim juice.
Pim juice.
That lab sucked. That tasting lab sucked. The drink sucked. That was so stupid. Such a terrible use of Ant-Man technology. Hey, we invented this great, wonderful technology that can shrink you or make you big. Who wants food?
She wants boba balls.
Damn.
It's funny because like there's porterhouse steaks bigger than some of the things that they serve.
Yes.
Yeah.
That whole thing just kills me.
Yeah. No, they really did Marvel terribly. I mean, there's no question that, and it's really ridiculous to say this. There's no question that the Universal version of Marvel built decades ago is better than the newer version that they've done within the last 3 years.
And this one has their Spider-Man is in it. You don't get any better representation than that.
Yeah.
It's not a weird voiceover person. It's the current person doing it.
Yeah.
It's probably because there's more of a respect for the source material than what's happening.
Oh, you're talking about the Universal one?
Yeah, the Universal one, yeah.
Yeah. If they upgraded Universal, that is, if they just broke out from those weird cardboard cutout things, like it's cool, but it's like if they break out from that, they're on to something. I mean, if they just up their game on that, I would be like, come on, Disney, I just pay them. Just pay them to do the ride for you.
Well, I mean, technically that's what Universal did was they created a street where
comic book
villains, comic book street where villains and heroes can fight each other. And I think that's obviously is what those cardboard cutouts are meant to represent, I suppose.
Well, true, but they get it.
No. Yeah. Well, not just that they get it. They know how to make a good Spider-Man ride. But the Doctor Doom free fall, the Hulk that's just this coaster that spins you up around. I mean, all that is not good. I mean, it's very Six Flags.
It's pretty typical.
Yeah.
Buy those off the shelf.
So,
I get 2 Hulks in the Doctor Doom, please. What's the combo price on that? You could, go ahead and throw in the Spider-Man as well.
That's probably what it was like.
That's funny.
All right, so let me break Eli's heart here. Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run.
I know you didn't say that.
I did say that.
I know you did.
And I mean that.
I flew that by myself. That's good. That's a good ride.
That's probably the only way it's fun.
Okay.
When you get to fly it, like really fly it, as opposed to going left to right, up and down, like who wants to ride the Millennium Falcon like that? Like, really, is this the best way we could think of? Because if this is the best way for people to fly in the maybe we is just not the kind of thing we want to do.
You feel that the way flying it is too tight? You're saying?
I feel like 4 out of the 6 people in the compartment have pretty useless jobs.
Okay, the engineered stuff, that's broke. I'll give you that.
You can't even watch what's going on the screen. You have to watch a button so you can press it. Same thing with Gunner. You don't have your own screen where you're watching. No, you're watching what's going on there and you're like tapping the button over here when it lights up. But really, I mean, if you're smart, you just tap it nonstop. So that way you just pay attention to what's actually happening on the ride.
That's a great point. But but it's also, I think, who you ride it with. But go ahead.
Oh, that was going to be my point. It's like the only time that for me that's fun is when you're riding it with like 5 other your friends. Or maybe 4 of your other friends and 1 stranger, because that's always fun too.
But flying it by yourself is very awesome.
I never had that experience, but it's still not up there.
You should try it if you get a chance.
I've ridden it with 6 adults, had a great time. You guys over in Disneyland. I've ridden it with 2 of us and a bunch of strangers.
Yeah.
Still get the same amount of coaxium, still go on the exact same adventure. I mean, it doesn't really matter. It just doesn't really matter what you do. This is one kind of like I was talking about with Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic One. I think the queue is better than the ride. Walking along there, seeing the Hondo figure, and then actually getting to walk around and take pictures and that used to be something where they let you sit there for a while. Now they just round you up almost immediately, where you don't really get to go around and really take in the Falcon. But that to me is the best part of the ride, is the queue. The actual ride itself is pretty. And
that's gotta hurt you to say that, because you're a huge Han Solo fan.
I'm a huge Han Solo fan. I've always wanted to fly the Millennium Falcon, but that's not flying the Falcon. That is just not. I'm going like that is just so quirky. Like
it's terrible.
It is.
I mean, I have better ideas for that thing than what they did.
Oh, well, there's always a way to plus something like that.
I was saying plus, and this is completely replace the damn thing.
I was going to go with Kevin on that one. Yeah, he's right. Look, I get somebody's going to get their feelings hurt if you got a guy that's flying the Falcon. There's only one guy flying the Falcon, but you've already hurt a bunch of people's feelings as it is. Like 4 of them feel crappy, and then the pilots are even like, what are we doing here? And even the pilots, there's like a point where like, punch it. They're like, well, I'm paying attention to the damn screen. I don't know that I'm supposed to hit that stupid button. Like, it's just, you can't watch
like
it.
Your 5 friends are yelling at you.
Like, why not? If you're like the gunner and navigator, like, why not put the screens on the back of the seat of the person in front of you? So that way you can at least look at the screen and see the action and know when you're supposed to push a button. But if it's all the way off out of your field of vision, how are you seeing any of this?
Or targeting sight if you're the gunner as well, because you don't really know what to aim for. You can't really hear Hondo.
That's what I want. Like what Luke had while Han was flying the Falcon. He has this little gunner thing that he sits on and he's shooting things.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah, that would have been a better use of the gunner thing.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely.
And then every experience would be a different experience. If I'm driving the gunner, I'm seeing something completely different than the guy who's flying the plane.
Yeah.
Or flying the Falcon.
Yeah, engineer, you have a harness or something on you. And
no,
like weird stuff happens while you're in the area. Like some tube drops. You got to do something to fix that. Because when you said because I think I was an engineer once, and I remember being like, maybe that was the first time I was on it.
I don't get the engineer thing, because it's like R2 was the engineer.
Yes.
Yeah. If something broke, R2 would just roll out. And
exactly.
That position is pointless. I think I've said it before. That was the first thing I was like, screw that. I'm not doing that again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm flying this sun gun. Yeah. To your point, you must have drew the short end of the stick if you get the engineer spot.
Oh, yeah.
I give you that.
But who hasn't?
Yeah. You're a dad that really loves your family. If you let your kids fly the ship and you take the engineer spot, you pay for the vacation, you really do love your family. They will appreciate that sacrifice.
I mean, at least if they would like change up the mission where you're going to different planets or something, that's true. Keep it at least somewhat interesting, but they don't even do that.
Or a villain that comes in there and says, you can't take this from us, and you have no clue what you're dealing with. So, all right, yeah, it could use a little more story, but still, oh man, I do like to visit that one more so often than the ones I mentioned.
Interesting.
Yeah. Best thing I can say about that ride is that at least there's no motion sickness.
There you go.
That is true. It's true.
Best thing I can say about
space for your knees too, my friend.
Lots of space.
Yes.
That probably sums it up, huh?
I think that sums it up. I think that's everything. I don't know if y'all have honorable mentions or anything, but I'm pretty good off of that.
No, I'm good myself. That's about like I said, listeners. That was our list, and it's a lot smaller than our list of favorite e-tickets. So you could just assume that the rest of them we enjoy more than these.
Like, what would you say your favorite 3 e-ticket attractions are? Like, just real quickly. I mean, I would say for me, for sure, it's Radiator Springs Racers. It's Rise of the Resistance. Well, I mean, if Haunted Mansion is allegedly considered an e-ticket,
that makes sense.
I guess that, but I may need to think a little bit on this.
If I had to think of it as purely thrill rides, like if it's one of those criteria.
Yeah, okay, let's think of it as purely thrill rides.
Yeah, I would say Radiator Springs Racers, Rise of Resistance, and I'm going to throw our version of the Tower of Terror. I like our version of the Tower of Terror in there with the 4th dimension and everything. I think that's a really, really good one.
Yeah, I'll go with the Disneyland version of Big Thunder Mountain.
I do like Big Thunder Mountain.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's what I think I'm going to go with my 3rd. For right now, which probably need a
this could be a whole nother show.
It could, but I have a feeling that the top 2 two of them are not going to change for most of us.
Right.
I mean,
right,
I always
right.
love Rock and Roller Coaster because it broke every time I tried to get on. And the one time I got it, it stayed pat since then. So
Well, now it's
that's
closed for
what you would-
refurbishment, so you're not getting on it anymore.
Well, I ain't hitting that anytime soon. But you see, I mean, it was a small window I was lucky to be a part of
And you did it once.
a few times.
I've
after
seen your
that.
dates. I can understand why it broke when you got on there.
Well, that's not. I mean, it was a stretch limo. They fit, Andy. Okay.
You're a safe word. It's
Yeah.
orange.
It worked all the way from front to back. Okay.
I'm not going to say too much. I'm still worried about us taking off the gypsies.
I did not see that one coming.
All right. Look, listeners, let us know what you think your least favorite e-ticket attractions are. Get in touch with us and we'll let you know how to do that in just a little bit. Well, y'all, we hope you enjoyed that discussion about our least favorite e-ticket Disney attractions. Look, magicarmory.com is the way to go if you want to learn more about our social media links, past episodes, and more. Also, if you want to get in touch with us to share your opinions on your least favorite e-tickets, you can do so through the following ways. First of all, shoot us an email at show@magicarmory.com or call or send us a text message. Yes, I did say text us at 1-815-MO-WEEKEND. That is 1-815-
Mo Weekend.
669-4226. And of course, we have a couple.
Thank you, Cobra Commander.
Yes. And of course, we have a couple of people who do things outside the podcast. First of all, we got Eli does things with comics. What's up, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. As always appreciate the support when you visit the ivorycomics.com website, where you see all the work that I have, fully colored pages, over 40 pages. The only ad for them is for this podcast. So that's more than you get from the big two, any other independents. Those projects include The Molly Be Damned, Project Geisha, and Savages. There's links to blogs and interviews, and of course, a link to the Magic Our Way podcast. So you never miss a beat, you never miss an episode, you never miss whose favorite lease e-ticket is what. So as usual, keep the synergy going, support the Ivory Comics website, support Magic Our Way. On social media, you can find me on Facebook, Eli H. Ivory. And as long as you're a real person, it's a pleasure to meet you. But if you're a bot, I do not need to greet you. These things are getting out of control. One is starting to clone my aunt. I'm like, what's going on? There's an invasion of the bot snatchers around here. It's insane stuff. So
Hi, Auntie.
yeah, I caught him like, my aunt's name don't end with 0.9704. That's a bot thing. That's crazy.
Wait, what?
I'm not making that up. It's insane.
Did she try to friend you or something?
Well, I'm already friends with her. So
Bot aunt?
no, the real aunt.
And bot.
Aunt bot.
My real aunt.
I'm not your mama.
I'm your aunt bot.
People from New Orleans will get that joke.
But yes, honestly, she sent me a friend request and then sent me a message, on Messenger. And
Okay.
I was like, well, that's odd. And I actually had to call my mother and be like, is she all right? She's like, oh, no, she's in North Dakota doing some nursing thing. I'm like, that's what I thought. And then I looked at, it had her name and it had .9704.
She got cloned.
So yeah, I was like, oh man, tell us somebody hacked the stuff. So anyway, bots are real. I don't play with that. Also on
Just
Facebook.
picture an aunt like sending Eli a private message. I'm touching myself.
Yeah.
Would you like to join me?
to see?
Click this link.
Hearts.
Want to
Like,
talk?
I was like, what is going on here? I mean, times are tough, but god dang. Yeah.
How are you today?
Boop, boop.
When I think about my nephew, I think about Tony Stark.
I take that. Oh man. Also on Facebook, there's the Project Geisha fan page. So I appreciate people have been sending their likes on that. Instagram as well. eIvory4 is where you can find me there. And I'm
EIV 504. Huh?
eIvory 504.
Yeah, don't get to 50.
Got to get the 5, close to 50.
If anybody out there is listening right now, I know sometimes people tune out at the closing. Eli's mama's name is Sandra Ivory. If we can create a bot Sandra Ivory to friend Eli, that would be awesome.
Oh yeah. Good luck with that. I know I'll catch that one easily. She don't even. She's on Facebook, but she's not on Facebook. I'm like, come pick up these dishes. I'll be like, oh, that's really her. And so then also on X, I can be found there at Hancock Tim 166. So if you appreciate the madness, you just bringing me to Gladys, and these two just did. So I'm very happy right now. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
And look, somebody else that can make you happy if you want to book a vacation to experience all of our least favorite Disney ticket attractions.
There's a lot more that we like. That is, again, at least favorite still means we somewhat have an
We'll write it. Yeah, we'll do it.
See it for yourself.
Yes.
Maybe you don't agree.
Right.
You got experience.
Maybe you're not afflicted with motion sickness or
being really tall.
Being really tall and crammed in the cars that you can't fit in, or
maybe you like dark rides and seeing animatronics look weird. Or
having corn dogs stuck in your throat because you just rode the Incredicoaster.
Maybe maybe you like heights and being on Ferris wheels that go back to back, but you won't know until you experience it.
That's right.
And only one person can help you do that.
Yeah, and that is Rachel.
This is Rachel, one of the hosts of the Magic Our Way podcast. I would be honored to help your family book your vacation to Disney destinations, Universal, cruise lines, and major hotel brands around the world. Booking with me is at no extra cost to you. The cost of a travel agent is built into the cost of your vacation, whether you use one or not. And when you book with me, a little bit of your trip comes back to support the podcast and the fan community here at Magic Our Way. You can reach me at Rachel, RACHEL, at magicourway.com, or you can find me at R, the letter R, Family Magic. So Our Family Magic on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. You can also give me a call or a text. My phone number is 978-432-WISH. Reach out today and let's make some magic with your family vacation.
So look, if y'all want to access all the info we just mentioned, go to magicourway.com/about us. Also, if you want to elevate your support of the Magic Our Way podcast, go to patreon.com/magicourway. There you'll find 6 awesome tiers to support this show. Any way in which you could support the show is deeply appreciated. Also, don't forget, like I mentioned in the beginning, leave a rating or review wherever you access podcasts, whether it's Apple Podcasts now, I keep wanting to say iTunes, or even if it's on YouTube or Spotify or wherever you access our show, leave a rating and a review so it always stays in the forefront of people's minds when they're looking for Disney podcasts. So all of that will help the success of the show and keep it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wanted to give a special shout out to somebody, and she's probably not even listening because I think she listens on YouTube because we don't really promote our YouTube channel very often. We keep up with it. Sometimes we don't keep up with it. And so we don't really promote the show on YouTube until we are able to produce something more consistent. But I just saw recently that we've gotten our 150th subscriber on YouTube.
Hey,
nice.
All right.
Well,
Awesome.
It's not a lot, but it's a milestone, particularly since we don't really promote it. So
mighty.
I wanted to give a shout out to, her name is Amber Clayton.
Amber,
if you're listening, thank you so much. You were our 150th subscriber. I've been waiting for that 150th subscriber. I just didn't want to mention it because, like I said, we didn't want to promote it until we knew we had something going on. But maybe, Kevin, you and your AI videos have changed something.
She likes the bots.
They're bots, man.
Who doesn't like? Oh, you don't like bots.
Only on when they try to reach me on Facebook.
You
just don't lie.
Don't like gypsies and bots. That's what I've
or
learned about
bots.
You today. Wow.
Gypsy bots.
Well, you know, there was that one time I was in.
We're gonna.
Okay,
listeners, we're going to give Eli some therapy. He's going to be fine.
I need a lot. Thank you.
But Amber, you rock. Thank you for being on number 150.
Yes. Thank you, Amber.
Yes.
If you're listening.
And look, if you want to join the ranks and become a loyal listener to the Magic Our Way podcast, man, we always love hearing from our listeners. All of your opinions will always be welcome on this show. So make sure you get in touch with us today. Leave a comment, videos, wherever you can get in touch with us. Slip into our DMs, as the kids say. We're going to get it and we're going to read it. So look, we say Kwaharini. My name is Kevin.
And I'm Danny.
Magic out.
And you are. Bye.